went to the theater.
What did you see in the theatre?
I saw the play that goes wrong.
That is
that's
funny.
so funny.
Very good. So the clip we saw there sort of sets up the beginning, and your character goes to stay with a nutty bonkers uncle, played beautifully by Jack, and then a more sensible sort of auntie figure, I guess. So Kate, I think we leave it to you to explain how the film evolves then from that point.
Well, in the house is a doomsday clock which a bad warlock has set in action to turn time backwards because he hates human beings. He
and
thinks
a warlock,
they're all terrible.
male witch, we learn.
Yes, and to turn time backwards to the time before human beings existed. So the three of us have to try and stop that clock.
Yeah, and Jack, produced by Steven Spielberg's company. You know, we're talking E.T., The Goonies. Do you think this has got all the good stuff to be amongst all of those great films?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the goal. You want to fit in with that pantheon of great movies by the...
No pressure. No pressure.
Master. But you had some, like, conversations with him, didn't you, with the man, the myth, the legend?
Yeah. No, Steven said to me, and he's like, I can't do the Steven Spielberg impression because I'll get fired. But he said, Eli, don't be afraid to make it scary. Make it, he's like, kids love to be freaked out. And I had a whole scene with pumpkins that are attacking, and I thought it was going to be funny because, you know, what's better than seeing a pumpkin vomit in Jack Black's face? And he said, no, make them really, really scary,
They are
terrifying.
quite scary.
Yeah, they're freaky.
It's sort of aimed at your age, Owen, maybe a bit younger as well. So what did you think then when you saw the finished article?
I was so excited. It is pretty freaky, especially when you're in the theater as well, because the screen's so much bigger.
Yeah.
It's pretty freaky, but it's a really fun film.
It's an interesting point, though, Eli, because you're used to making horror movies anyway for adults. So how full on do you go, and at what point are you sort of pulling it back? Because it's good to have those kind of films like E.T. and like.
Oh, it is. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I sort of ran out of body parts to chop off. Once you've drained every body of their blood. Where do you go from there? So you move on to, you know, instead of chopping off a head, you're chopping up a pumpkin. Instead of blood, it's pumpkin goo. But here's the thing: you can't start off children with a movie like It or Hostel 2, but a lot of my friends have kids now, and they want their kids to be into scary movies, so it can't be like, son, we're going to watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre tonight. Like, it doesn't really work that way because their kid will be put in a mental hospital, which is sort of what happened to me, or become, you know, a director who makes horror movies. And this is like a gateway movie. Like, this is the movie that you take your kids who are 9, 10 years old, and it's scary and it's fun, but you know, Jack and Kate and Owen are there, and it's all going to be safe. So it's going to scare kids and give them that thrill like a haunted house, but certainly not traumatize them.
No. It didn't look, though, did it, that lots of it was CGI? You know, when the dolls come to life. I mean, I was a bit freaked out.
I don't know. I mean, Spielberg ruined the clown and the doll for me, and there's a lot of those. It was actually really creepy, even being there on the day. There was a lot of in-camera magic. So, of course, there's CGI.
Yeah.
I mean, this actually looks like... It kind of looks like this, actually. This is the same colour as the CGI moment. But, you know, some of it's CGI, but a lot of it was there.
Yeah.
You're right. It was that Poltergeist had the first scary doll, right?
Scary clown doll.
Oh, in the corner with the tree outside.
Wait a second. I know who to ask.
I mean,
you know everything about every movie that's ever been... What was the first scary doll ever on film that you can remember?
Oh, my gosh. Well, the scariest doll ever that I saw in the theater was the doll from Poltergeist. That was the one. That was like... I told Spielberg the marketing for It started with Poltergeist. When that clown thing just wraps around the kids. And he was like, oh, I was so excited. I was pulling the string, and I got to do it. And we shot it at 12 frames a second in reverse. And that was how the tentacle came out and really wrapped around his neck. I was like, oh, my gosh. He was really into, like, wrapping it around the child's neck.
Yeah.
But it worked. I mean, here we are.
but there's none of that in our movie.
We built it. We built everything, and that was the fun. I remember you were so freaked out. Owen came in, and there was like a devil goat named Goaty, and he was so scared to go on the set, he couldn't be around all these creepy automatons.
I'm not surprised.
But we had to name them.
Yeah, we named them all.
Yeah, there's Frank and Ralph and Shorty.
And the chair, there was the easy chair that,
Yeah,
you know,
the
the
lazy
chair
boy,
had, the lazy boy had a personality.
Yeah.
It'll have its own spin-off movie, probably, like the Minions.
And how freaky was it working with Jack as a warlock? Because we saw him in there with the kimono and all the hair and all the business.
Oh, he was just perfect.
Born to do it. Born to do
Is it right?
Well, you have the warlock hands. Jack does magic fingers better than anyone.
That is my main reason for wanting to be a warlock. I just wanted to have the power to be able to create magic and throw balls of fire energy.
I was reading as well that you wrote a song about warlocks. Is that right? Or was my information?
That's unrelated, but yeah, years before I did a collaboration with Dave Grohl called "I Am the Warlock," and little did I know it was a prophecy of things to come. One day I would become the warlock.
You predicted it, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's very good. Not too scary, but scary enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very good.
Good analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, The House with a Clock in Its Walls is in cinemas on September the 21st.
Now, many of